All right, so let's dive right into Chapter 2 of Lord of the Flies. Remember where we left off? A group of British schoolboys, the only survivors of a plane crash, are stranded on a deserted island. They've just elected a leader, Ralph, and now they're holding their first real assembly. This is it, their chance to build a whole new world, right, from scratch.
So what's the first thing on their agenda? You might think it'd be total chaos, right? But actually, their first instinct is to create a society. I mean, these are schoolboys after all. So with Ralph leading the way, they're going to try to bring the familiar order of their old lives into this completely new and wild place.
And Ralph, holding that now famous conch shell, he knows he has to start with a serious dose of reality. He's been exploring the island, and he's got to make one thing absolutely 100% clear to everyone. This is not a game.
I mean, just feel the finality in that statement. No houses, no smoke, no people. The message is pretty blunt, isn't it? The big adventure is over. Now it's about survival. Ralph is laying it all out. They are completely, totally alone. And when you're that isolated, you need a plan.
And this is their first big step towards building a civilization. The idea of having rules, of having structure, it isn't just a practical thing, it's a comfort. It's a way to feel like you've got some control when everything around you is completely out of control. And amazingly, the boys love the idea. They actually cheer.
So that conch becomes way more than just a pretty shell. It's their parliament, it's their talking stick, it becomes a symbol of democratic order. The first and most important rule is simple, but it's kind of brilliant. Only the person holding the conch is allowed to speak. And for a brief moment, it really seems like, hey, this whole civilization thing, it might actually work.
But you know, just as they establish order, something primal begins to creep in and undermine it all. And that something is fear. It starts as just a quiet whisper, but it begins to spread through the group. And it's the first real challenge to Ralph's new society.
This is the question Ralph really wants everyone to buy into. He keeps saying, the island is good, there's food, there's water, so what could possibly be out there in the dark? What is there to be afraid of?
Well, the answer comes from one of the youngest survivors there. He's this shy little kid, maybe 6 years old, and he has a distinctive mulberry-colored birthmark on his face. He's way too scared to speak for himself, so he leans in and whispers to Piggy.
And there it is, the first mention of the beastie, a snake thing that comes in the dark. The older boys, they just laugh it off, but it's too late. The seed of fear has been planted. This is the exact moment the island stops being a paradise and starts being a place with monsters.
And the way the leaders react here tells you everything. You can see the split happening right in front of you. On one side, you have Ralph, the leader of order. He tries to use logic to make the fear go away. He insists, but there isn't a beastie, it was just a nightmare. But then there's Jack, the leader of the hunters. He does something completely different. He doesn't dismiss the fear, he leans into it. He promises to answer it with violence. Two totally different kinds of leadership on full display.
Ralph knows he's losing the room. He's got to get control back. To fight this growing fear, he cleverly pivots. He shifts the focus from what they should be scared of to what they should be hopeful for. Rescue.
This is Ralph's big plan, and honestly, it's a good one. It's logical, it's practical, and it gives all the boys a real, tangible goal to work towards, a signal fire. It's a beacon of hope, and it's their one connection back to the adult world they've lost. But here's the thing. The idea of rules was exciting, but the idea of a fire? Whoa. That taps into something way more primal. The word itself is just electric, and the boys are instantly consumed by the raw excitement of it.
And in a single moment, the conch is forgotten. The rules are forgotten. Jack sees his opening, and with one command, he leads a stampede up the mountain. Civilization has just been completely abandoned for the thrill of the hunt, but this time, the hunt is for fire.
So what happens next isn't some carefully planned project. Oh no, it is a manic, disorganized frenzy. The boys' excitement, their desire for this big symbol of hope, it just descends really quickly into dangerous recklessness.
Those, of course, are Piggy's words. He's left behind, still holding the conch that nobody wants anymore. He's the voice of reason, the adult perspective, and in this moment of wild excitement, he is completely and utterly ignored.
Now, how they finally make the fire is so telling. Jack doesn't just rub two sticks together. Instead, he snatches Piggy's glasses, the symbol of intellect, of clarity, of science, and uses them for this primal task. Technology is used to create fire, but it's an act of theft and violence.
And it works. They have fire.
For a moment, it feels like this huge triumph. They've conquered nature. But as that first little flame flickers to life, you have to ask yourself, what have they actually unleashed here?
Because their signal of hope almost immediately becomes an inferno. The fire they created to save themselves turns into this destructive force they can't control, just ripping through the very island they need to survive on. Their first great achievement is also their first great disaster.
So as the flames finally die down, the boys are faced with the grim consequences of what they've done. The excitement is gone, and it's been replaced by shame and a terrible, dawning horror.
This is Piggy's moment. He finally gets to speak, and he unleashes a furious storm of logic and accusation. He points out every single mistake, every single failure of reason that led to this disaster.
Piggy just systematically dismantles any pride they had. He points out, your fire is useless, it's all flames, no smoke. You prioritized a bonfire over basic needs, like shelter. And then, the most chilling accusation of all. In your chaos, you didn't even bother to count everybody. You have no idea how many little kids there are.
As Piggy speaks, a heavy silence falls over the group. The boys just look around, their faces smudged with soot and shame, and they start to notice who isn't there.
He's gone. The same little boy who first voiced the group's fear of a beastie in the dark has vanished, consumed by the very fire they so carelessly created. There's no answer, just the silence of the scorched forest. Their first rule has been broken, and now the first life has been lost. It leaves us with this terrifying thought. What does this cost of chaos really mean for their future on the island?